Body looking like fine wine, trying to have a good time. We out here trying to go off, show off, blowing off some steam. After working a 9-to-5 dream. Sometimes you gotta let loose, move your body smooth, shape butter, fruit juice. You gotta get down sometimes. I'm here for it, move yourself, grind. You see your haters in the back, leave them on the wallway.
I have to start it. Hey!
Hello, welcome to Dupardology. Dupardology is the study of REGGIE and LaChanda Dupard family's behavior. And we're glad to see you again today. We have an exciting podcast showing today.
Hopefully y'all can hear us. We got a little technical difficulty going on. I'm calling an emergency number. Oh, Lord, help us. No, we don't want a 911 call. Have y'all ever done that before? Okay, notification canceled. Okay, go ahead, Dupard.
Well, today we're going to discuss relationships, do's and don'ts. And actually, this is going to be part one of the do's. And we try to do the positive first. And then the do's, and then we'll do the don'ts on the next episode. Because we have a continuation of last
Lord,
episodes.
The police is calling me, y'all. I got to answer this. I'm sorry. That was a mistake call. I'm sorry.
Sometimes
I don't have an emergency. I'm so sorry. I accidentally called that phone.
Technical difficulties.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
This is our first time, Ms. Dupard.
That's what happens when you go live.
Yes.
I accidentally hit it. Okay, anyway. Sorry. What were you saying, Mr. Dupard?
Well, we were discussing the do's and don'ts of relationships, and that's what we're going to discuss today. I'm very, very excited about that, and because I want to.
Go ahead.
Because I wanted to share some things because we've been married 31 years now.
31 years.
31 years.
But there are some things that happened before the marriage that we need to talk about too, for do's and don'ts, right?
Okay, yeah, but you're right. But 31 years we've been married, and if someone had said that I would be married when I did get married for 31 years, just because of my lifestyle and all the things I did, football and everything, I guess my friends that attended my marriage or my wedding, I guess they were saying, this is not going to last.
No, they were saying that.
I didn't hear anybody say that.
No, it wasn't 31 years. They were saying
it's not going to last.
In a year.
A year?
Yeah.
Well, they say that the average, the
Reggie
hardest
Dupard.
part. What about Reggie Dupard? The hardest, I don't want to talk about Reggie, but we will. We have to.
I'm just saying that's why
the most difficult years are the first 5 years.
Yes, first 5 years.
And when we speak from different experiences, we have these 31 years, and I'm like, man, God is so good.
He is extremely good.
And just transitioning to that, one of the first things that I always do is when we have major decisions, I go to God first, and it's just something, I think it's something I saw my dad do, and it was my opportunity, as the man of the house, as God put us as a head. Of course, we both share and everything, but like when we do major decisions, look up, she's winking her eye. When we have major decisions, I go and
that's true.
Sort it out in my head.
You do, and you
especially
always
financial things.
Yeah, and you bring us together. So let's start from the very beginning here. So in the beginning. What's the word?
That's the Bible said
the word.
that. I
and
like
the word
in the
was
beginning, and the word made flesh.
And the word made flesh, and the flesh dwelt among us.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was going to start.
I didn't know either. God just put that there. Okay. But anyway, Adam and Eve, you go back to the Garden of Adam and Eve and all of the disobedience that went on, we were destined to fail. Okay, so I get that people say marriage won't last. However, it's even... not even getting into the marriage. Let's talk about the relationship of dating first. And then, because all of these things really do apply once you're in a committed relationship, right?
Right. There's some do's, there's some don'ts, and there's some things that you have to do. So
let's get into those. All right, let's do it.
Well, when you're going into any relationship, you have to be honest.
Oh, yes. Honesty is key. And this goes back to some of what we discussed in the last segment. But honesty is, because once you mess up, what happens?
Well, you mess up, then you always have to deal with the trust. And is he going to call me when he's supposed to? Is he really where he say he is? And so those are things that you have to deal with once you've had dishonesty.
Right. So let's start with a question that we got. We had several questions from the last segment, and we didn't get a chance to finish it all. Mm-hmm. So with this segment, we're going to start off with the question of, how do you not lose yourself after you get married and still try to completely 100% satisfy the other person.
Wow, that you know what? That was pretty deep. Mm-hmm. Did you want to stab at it?
You can
first?
start. I'm gonna let you go first.
Why? You go first.
Why?
Because I want you to go first. I want to hear what you have to say. I'm so interested in what you have to say. I'm not going to piggyback. I have my own. I'm my own individual. I'm very
I know that.
Myself.
We all know that one. So the thing about it is, how do you not lose yourself? First of all, you have to maintain the image of who you are. And when you start to have to compromise outside of who you are and you get to feel uncomfortable, and you know when that happens. You know, you like, for example, you start to lose yourself when the other person you're dating, for example, I used to like Reggie to be around me and, you know, hang out with me and some of my friends, and he didn't always want to do that. But he would do it sometimes, but he was never 100% compliant, ever. And really, realistically, you don't want anybody to be 100% compliant in a relationship because you are your own individual. So if your partner respects you enough, they will understand that, okay, tonight, I don't want to do that tonight. Right. So it's okay to do that, right?
Right. And what you have to remember, in answering that question, you know, it's a very, very good question, might I add. You first have to understand, whenever you start a relationship, whatever you start off with, like if you start off, see, I'm getting into stuff that's going to get me in trouble.
No,
but if you start off like holding hands and, you know.
How's that going to get you in trouble? You started off like that.
But listen.
And we ended like that. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, we're not going to do that. So you start off holding hands everywhere you go. Now, myself personally, I didn't like holding because my hands get sweaty. But if you all of a sudden you change the game, but those things you have to. And that's just a small thing. But you have to know who you are and have your own life.
That's right.
You know, both of us, we're both strong-willed people, like to do things. And we share things together. And I let LaChanda do what she does. I go hunting and fishing. She do some things with her girlfriends at Stacey Abrams concert and all those different things. And I'm comfortable with, and we trust each other.
Concert, okay, anyway. But
well, not the concert.
Okay, anyway, that's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry for telling you. But those are the things you have to know who you are even before you get into the marriage and have your idea, hey, this is what we're going to do. And of course, you always talk things over.
So you talk it over, you compromise, and you try to figure out what makes you okay. And then sometimes it's okay to explain, well, why I don't want to do that. Some people, that's a big thing. I don't want to tell you why. I don't really want to explain. I shouldn't have to explain that to you. Well, if you love and respect a person, that's how you keep the communication going. Right.
And I hope we answered that, and that's our experiences. And if we didn't, you can modify that question and put it back in the chat, and we'll add to whatever we have to add to answer that question completely.
Right. So
we don't leave anyone hanging.
Right. Okay. So the other thing is, when do you tell your partner that you want to have a child, or not knowing that they may not be ready to have a child? How do you talk about that? How did we do it?
Well, our situation was a little different. I don't know if you want me to share all of that story.
I don't care.
But your story is your story. Because I initially, as a man, I was just in the relationship, you know, happy like it was, you know, and just doing my thing, and just the two of us. Because as men, we rarely go into relationships saying, I want to have a child. And, you know, matter of fact, that was never a thought until you one day came up to me and said, Reggie, I want to have a child.
Yeah, I did. So that's how you do it.
And I complied.
Yeah, because really,
it was time.
I didn't really want kids. Let's back up. I didn't want kids either in the beginning. And 3 years after being married, and y'all know about the other situation thing that happened out there that we talked about.
Yeah.
That
had something to do with it.
That had a lot to do with it. So it was like, okay, it's time for us to let's just build our own family. We need to get this into a better place. So, but it was something that was just, I got up one morning and I was like, I want to have a baby. But I know he really wasn't all that big fan of it, especially after we had been through it. Yeah. So I went to him and I was like, Reggie, I want to have a baby. And he was like, "You don't have a baby." I'm like, "Okay, all right. We really want to bring a child in this world."
Right. And then of course, you started going through the medical pieces, and you had some things.
I had some ovarian things that were going on. I had one good ovary and one bad.
Well,
ovary.
you end up getting one taken away.
Can I tell my story? You said it was my story.
I'm gonna let you do it.
You just stole my thunder. You end up taking one away. Lord, okay, I took one out, so that was the end of the story.
That's not right, Shonda. We had
happens all the time.
some complications.
We had complications,
Yes.
and I had a bad ovary. I had a teratoma cyst. Look it up. I had never heard of anything like that before. But a teratoma cyst is a thing that grows into your ovary, and it never meet in with the sperm, so it's half of the egg that starts to grow in your ovary, and it develops hair, teeth, and bones. And I was like, what are you talking about, doctor? So she was like, we got to do surgery because it had grown to be like that big.
Right.
So I went in, and it had grown so far in the ovary, they had to remove it.
Right.
So a lot of times when you really feel like, okay, I may not be able to have a child, then that's when you really want to have a child.
Right.
But even after that, I wasn't really ready to have a child, but still, I woke up one morning, it was like, bam, I'm going to have a baby. So for me, because I'm the kind of person I am, I was okay bringing it to Reggie. Some people that are not okay, or you're afraid and you're fearful of what a person may say, then you just have to open that communication up with maybe something like, can we just talk about family? And, what do you say, Reggie?
We've always been straight shooters, and that's how you operate. And so I don't know if you were to try to like beat around the bush. I'm like, well, really, what is going on with you? So everyone's not like you, but sometimes you have to have that gangster in you sometimes. That's right. And it's if it's best for the family, it shouldn't be a problem.
Well, first of all, it's never going to be a great time.
Never.
It's never the best time, okay? Never. But there are some things you need to have in place before you decide to have a child, okay?
Yeah.
Like savings, a little bit of savings.
Emergency things.
Maybe
but it's, like you said, it's never a good time. And I'm going to reiterate what you said, like, once you found out you couldn't, boy, my wife started doing some real crazy stuff to try to have a baby.
Nothing medically.
No, but she was just like, she was serious.
Once he said, okay, it was the green light was on. Let's go.
And I enjoyed, that was a good part for me.
That was a great part,
because
right?
she was ready.
All right.
I'll just put it that way.
That's right. And so that was one of the things. So now, what was the other one on your list?
I think one of the other things is like, one of the do's or don'ts, I would say, is don't like bring baggage in from a previous relationship.
How do you know it's baggage?
Well, some people don't know. Well, let me tell you what baggage is. I can imagine, but baggage sometimes is something from a bad experience in a relationship. When I say a bad experience, someone treated you bad, and then you think your mate's gonna do that, whether it's your husband or whether it's your wife. Baggage could be someone, the way you was reared. You was raised in a certain kind of family, and you wasn't told you were loved. You didn't get enough hugs and all those different things, and you have a certain expectation, need from a man, and the man, that's something that you have to get cleared up. Because certain things, the marriage is about. A man he don't come into a marriage trying to fulfill your childhood needs.
But a lot of times people don't know that they're doing that, right? Now, I came from a divorced family, and there were needs that I need, but I never came to you to be a father to them.
Well, and you did have a.
I did?
No, I'm saying you did come from a divorce, but
then
your mom remarried, and she had a husband, and so you had a number of years where you saw your parents together in a marriage, just like I had all my life with my family as a parent. Whether it's some good and bad, everybody have good and bad in a family, but I saw my mother and father together the whole time, and that made me want to. When I had a family, it was something that I thought I needed to do. I wanted to work. I wasn't going to just like break out because we were having some issues.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, the baggage, all I'm saying is you got to identify what the baggage is. So insecurities and things of jealousy, those are normal little baggage things that we all bring. And sometimes that doesn't come from a family. It just comes from, bad situations.
It does, experiences. And the one good thing that that you can do is always good. You can always get help through counseling, because I don't ever like to just leave somebody with. Because if you have issues, you know something ain't right. Just go to help, get you the help. And a lot of times in our community, we don't like getting help.
No, we're in denial about help, which we will be talking about that.
We will talk about that.
Yes, because that's very important on how we mature and how we have healthy relationships. If you're not healthy, how are you going to make somebody else happy? If you're not healthy and happy yourself, it's really hard to do that. So, we just need to look at the idea of what is a family to you. And the way that you do that, what I like is that you sit down and you write down what you want your family to look like. And then have your boyfriend or whomever, if y'all are planning on getting married, what does he want his family to look like? Then you come together and you discuss those things. Then you have your list, he has his list, and then y'all can say, well, what's on this list? What can I compromise with? Or I don't like what's on your list. I think we need to take that off. That's not even an option.
Right.
A lot of people don't work through those things, and that's why it develops into unhealthy relationships. Right. So make your list of what you want to see your family like.
And also, you don't always have to model with someone that you see, because everyone is different and people are different, the way we handle each other.
Yes.
But we were fortunate enough to have a couple come and do marriage counseling with us. And
Pastor Dyson.
Yeah.
That was good. They were real too.
I thought that was very, very helpful.
But you got to get the right one. See, Pastor Dyson and his wife, they kept it real with us. They were not playing games, and they were talking about all kinds of stuff.
I mean, what can go wrong? Because you have two people together that's sinners, are not perfect, and that's so. You have two people like that, and then you have to work on it. That's something you have to work on. And marriage is not easy. 31 years, and we've had some struggles, some tough times, but in the end, we wielded it together, and we're trying to do better and always grow it.
That's right. That's exactly right. And keeping God in the center is definitely it. So one of the other things is, there's going to be that moment when you get mad with your boyfriend, spouse, and you just don't want to be around him. You're just unhappy, and you just just leave me alone. I need a day of my mental peace to be sane. Okay? So just leave, go do what you want to do, leave me alone. All right. When that happens, you then can get stuck. And I see a lot of women, depending on what the situation is, that get stuck in that and they stay in it. Well, of course, we get angry with each other, but we sin not. And we don't really, lash out at each other. But if I've had enough of Mr. Reggie Dupard, the way that I get unstuck is I have this playlist by Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross. Do y'all know Luther? Most of the young people, y'all don't know Luther, do you? It's a shame that y'all weren't fortunate to know Luther. But anyway, and the big Luther too. That was when he was really singing. How else is no? Okay, anyway. So I have a playlist of songs that when we first started dating, it brings back all of those memories of how we were, what we did, and when I fell in love with him. So those things get me unstuck. And I play that music, and I just will fall in love all over again.
Yeah, I remember when we were in New England, and a friend of mine turned me on to Miles J.
Oh, Miles J. D. Hoons, thank you for that. Woo, that was a killer right there. Right. Miles J.
And so
it's still
in
great.
The car and just stuff that reminds you of the love and the good times.
The love and the good times. Tracy Chapman is another one too.
Yeah,
we love to.
Ooh, wow, you went way back.
I went way back because that's when we fell in love. Way back.
Yeah, and we sort of rekindled her.
There's songs that will trigger those emotions and feelings.
Yes.
So I just happen to know what those are. So and also, guys, I just want to say this. We're playing around with dates here because we want to figure out what works best for our schedule, because it'll always be on YouTube. And it's looking more like Thursday. We played around with Wednesday, Friday, and today is Thursday. So I had to interject. That was an ADD moment, but okay.
That is okay. You can do that,
LaChanda.
We just relax. We're having a good time, and we sharing our thoughts.
All right. Okay. What's your last? Is there a last one for you?
Well, one of the things that I think was a blessing, and even when we had kids, we like to help others as a team and support others and give back. And that brings the family together. And that's what worked for us. When our kids were young, we didn't have to, but we wanted them to understand that how fortunate they were. So we
Right.
used to do Meals on Wheels. We would go in the community,
Take your
not far
kids
from
out,
our
right.
church, give out things, food, clothes, and we always got the kids involved.
See, there we go with the kids again. Was there a life?
Well,
I think my husband don't remember life before. I love my children too, and I know Jonathan and Rachel. They are beautiful, wonderful children.
Right.
And they're not 12 anymore, honey.
No,
So,
but there are young people here that have kids, and I can just say, and even well, let me graduate out of the youngsters. Okay, so after our children, my wife and I, we do things together to give back to our community. I won't list all the things we do, things and people don't know about.
Volunteering.
But those are the things that bring us together.
Yes.
That we are one, and it helps you when you can give. It'll bless you.
Right.
It'll bless your marriage.
it will. It definitely will.
And I don't mean give money, but your time and the two of you together doing
As an
that. I think
individual.
that's important.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
It blesses you as an individual first.
It
and then
really
overflows
does.
into the
It
family.
overflows in the family, and God will bless you because
Right.
you're obedient.
Now, one of the other things, Mr. Dupard,
Yes.
is what
Yes,
I've
Ms.
seen a
Dupard.
lot of is when people do have children
Mm-hmm.
and they grow up and they get ready to go to college and then the marriage falls apart.
Yes.
So what we found that happens in that case, a lot of times while you're so busy building your
kids,
family,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. You go
You're
ahead.
so busy building your family and involved with the kids, you kind of take away from each other. And so a lot of people grow apart. So now when the kids grow up and they leave, it's like, I don't know you. Who are you?
Well, let me tell you what we did. We didn't skip a beat.
We didn't.
Okay, they're gone. Let's do our thing.
We did it right. We loved our children.
See y'all later.
We didn't do
Call
it-
us before you come. We may
didn't-
not be here.
I didn't cry. You cried when
Oh.
we dropped off Jonathan and Rachel. And I did not cry. I was like, woo, let the party begin. But I love my kids. I was more excited that they were going to go into this new life and they were going to explore and find adventure and meet people, lifelong friends. I was excited about that because I was excited for my life.
Yeah.
Going to
When
college.
you basically just shared with everybody who got the hugs when they were a kid. I got
It's
hugs as a
okay.
little girl. And I'm a little sensitive. I cry when in movies. You don't cry. I don't mind having shedding a tear. And I did shed a tear when they graduated, when they left for college. However, the transition was very, very smooth because we had stuff we needed to do.
Yeah, we started dating.
And the thing, and that's
Well, we had
also part
always-
of the dudes things.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you go
We had
ahead.
always dated.
Right.
But it was very minimal dating because we didn't like leaving our kids with a
Mm-hmm.
babysitter. If we went somewhere, they had to go with us too. But when they left, the dating almost immediately started. Like we were like single again. We were all giddish,
Right.
giddish, and all
We
excited.
had
and
time to ourselves.
Yeah, we had time.
Because we did a lot with them, and so when they did leave, it was a transition.
Right.
Let's live our life.
Let's live our life.
And part of the marriage is give and take. Like sometimes in a marriage, most of the time, you have to do things you don't want to do. Like my wife, she's a go person. I could look at TV, look at I don't know, a game.
And I have to
look
drag him out of the
And
house.
so
Richie, come on,
and
go
most
with
of the time I go and I have a good time. And I'll try new things. Like we travel. She likes to travel and she don't like, she'll stay. I want to stay a little extra days and things. I'm ready to come home. But I sacrifice and
you end up having fun anyway.
Well, I will, but some.
You have
but
fun, don't you?
But part of it is part of a compromise.
But do you have
Yes, we have fun, and sometimes it's a state of mind. Even if you don't want to do something, you do it because you love your mate or you love your significant other, and you do those things, and they don't have to know that you're not really, because you probably end up having a good time like I do all the time.
Right.
So
All right,
you have
so
to give. It's a give and take.
It's
thing.
a give and take. These are little simple things that y'all can apply to your lives. It's not rocket science, people.
Right.
Relationships are about mutual respect for one another, communication. So this whole segment that we started off has been about life, relationships, and what we experienced early on. And if you haven't watched those, go back to, I think it's
Right.
number 2 and 3 that you can go back to, where we shared some very intimate details about our relationship. But we want you guys to know that it's possible to live a happy marriage. In a happy marriage, it's possible to live a life of happiness with another person that's so different from you. But you have to respect each other because we do have different backgrounds, right?
Yes, you have to respect, and the key, is love. And I've learned after so many years, and let me just say this, as we close. But a lot of times, my wife, she always used to tell me, romance don't begin in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Men, I don't know if you ever heard of that. That might be in some book or something. I don't know where she found that at. You can't just wait to show your love in the bedroom. It begins, when you wake up in the morning, when you have our cup of coffee. That's something we do together. We have a cup of coffee in the morning. We talk our day through, and that's when all of the romance really starts. Now, when I do all of those different things, young men, and tell my wife the good things, how beautiful she is, how her eyes are so beautiful. I love her eyes. Tell me that. I have told you that. and I do those things. Then you reap the benefits later. Right. And so I'm still working on it because you saw the slack, and I have to remind myself.
Well, that's just a man thing. It's a man thing.
No, they got some guys that own their game. I know people that's on their game.
Okay.
It's a few of us.
Maybe so.
Okay.
But most men they get up and they task. It's all about them. Okay, did you do this? Are you gonna do this?
Right.
We got this to do. That. We can't get up and function off of tasks and what you want.
I was just trying to get to you can't always be about
you start about
sex.
I love that. Sex, because sex, like you said, it doesn't start in the bed.
When does it start?
In the morning. It starts in the morning.
Where at though? At the coffee table?
Before you even roll out of bed. Before you even roll out of bed.
Okay. Well, I don't want to say nothing about rolling out of bed.
We can't tell that. Okay, we ain't going to go all that.
But anyway,
it starts before you roll out of the bed.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? That's how we're able to keep a nice little sane and health. And that's another thing, a healthy sexual relationship.
Yes.
You got to have, that's definitely part of having a relationship. If you got somebody that's not in tune with you, there's a reason why. There's something going on there, and you have to get to the bottom of it, right? But let me tell you, when you are in tune with one another, and when you are especially in tune with your star player, that inner star, when you have that inner star tuned in, it is like game on, okay? Right. And it don't have to be every day. Everybody have their own little things. We talk about this with people behind the walls. But guess what? Here we're gonna say
we're not gonna get too because I got some stuff I want to say and I don't know if I should really say it.
Oh, what you want to say?
Well, I just thought of this song and it just reminded me of some things. It just said I want to make love without taking off my clothes.
Oh yes, honey. Yes.
And somebody might know that song.
Now,
and
is it old school?
As you get older, you can appreciate that singing.
That singing, right? Because it definitely is not all about.
And it could be done, fellas.
It sure can.
And I think we might need to end it on that.
Okay.
Because I can see what's in your eyes.
Okay, I think we might need to as well. It's a wonderful thing. That's all I'm saying is practice what you preach. Learn to make sure that your boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm not saying have sex with your boyfriend and girlfriend. We're not promoting fornication. Sometimes when you, anyway, that's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother subject. I'm not going to judge y'all on that one.
Yes, ma'am.
But ladies, if you do it too soon, you just compromising too much, okay?
Yes.
However, all I'm saying is have respect for each other. Have a godly relationship. And, you mentioned something about being in love. But what about being in like? Because a lot of people love their spouse, but they don't really like them.
Ooh, you gotta like them.
You gotta like them. I like Reggie.
Have to figure out.
And I love Reggie.
Right. And I like you and love you as well.
Yeah, and I can tell.
Yeah.
So when we're out that's why we can go places and do things and have fun. But at the end of the day, you got to find that common denominator that brings you back together. And you'll get off every now and then. But we can't, save the world in an hour. So we're going to let y'all go tonight. We wanted to just share this with you guys. If y'all have something else you want to say, please send it to us. But this is our story, and we're sticking to it.
All right. Well,
what is Dupardology?
Have a good day.
We are the study of
Reggie and LaChanda Dupard, family behavior.
Our family behavior. This is
our experience, and we just thank you for being a part of it.
It's our family behaviors, y'all.
Have a great day.
Y'all have a good one. Later. Have a good one. Jonathan, I see somebody out there. All right.